I love the S13 so much, and I haven't forgotten about you guys that are excited about the J35 swap. The S13 I decided to keep because it was such like an important, I guess, staple for me learning to drive. My friend had this car for sale for like 10, 11 grand as SR, it was a running SR car, and I was like, you know what? Screw it, let's buy this car. And I was like, if I'm gonna ever attempt to try and drift again, because I had a long history with it way before in the SC300 and the other 350Z that I had, but I was like, you know what? I wanna get a shot at redemption, and so I did. And I pretty much learned everything. And I owe all of my drifting progress so far, I think, to this car, and so that's why I decided to not get rid of it. I'm gonna be J35 or J series swapping this car and doing a turbo setup, and it's gonna be so sick. I wanna go a little bit over the past year though on why I decided to keep this car before we dive into the swap, because as you guys can see, we've got a motor in the car at the moment. I haven't even shown Instagram this yet, so this is like a first. You guys are even seeing this at this point, but we've made this car look nice. My first ever track day, man, like I took it out to this Oklahoma Motorsports complex. We had just gotten it wrapped. I got some 3-piece wheels made. I wanted to make it look actually good before I went out there, and you know, at least the car looked good. If I sucked, the car looked good. And I quickly kind of messed up the bumper, went off track a few times, but I learned. And I liked driving so much that pretty soon after that, I bought a sim.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Because I was like, you know what? I want to get the muscle memory down. I want to figure this out, and I really want to get good. And honestly, like at this point, I owe so much to sim driving. I was getting bored of some of my nice cars, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell my AMG, and I'm gonna help fund doing some fun stuff with drifting. I'm gonna give this a shot. And so the season began pretty soon after that. I worked with like FDF, got an angle kit installed, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna just attempt to compete in grassroots just to see how in the world I do it. Never tandems before, never chased. All of my first season, until the last event, I really didn't even know what zones were. I didn't know what clipping points were. I literally was just out there driving, and I was like, oh, this little square looks fun to go drive towards. That's a deep secret I have not told anybody yet, but it kind of worked out. First event, didn't have a livery. My first ever attempt at tandeming, I actually won my first I won my first tandem session, then quickly lost my next one because I just didn't know what to do. Even on sim, I never had gotten close, didn't know how to do it. As I started to progress, started breaking the car a bit more, I started getting a little bit more excited and started learning a little bit about more how the car was, how it could be dialed. The angle kit and just like trying to dial in the car. I mean, this car had a lot of problems too, like it's SR swapped. The tune wasn't very, it was a stock ECU, but it had like an S15 harness, S14 motor, S13 ECU or something like that. So just a lot of stuff. Constantly had power steering problems. I mean, I was chasing stuff all season, so this car was never actually really good to me until the very, very, very end. But what was really cool about this car was I ended up placing third place in my first ever grassroots season, like podium in my first ever grassroots season, not because I was good, but because I showed up. Literally, by default, I got third place. So it wasn't actually that cool. Now I could probably go back and win. I'd love to do that, and I'm trying to do that this year. That's kind of like the goal, road to pro, I guess. Last year we did the LZ World Tour. I went out there to Englishtown. I drove all the way up. Massive road trip, was crazy. Went out there, crashed my second lap.
Damn it, dude. Power steering, dude.
Worked all day on the car and never actually ended up really truly fixing it. One of my rear wheel bearings and rod arms bushings was gone, so the car was essentially undrivable. But I was also just not good at the time. But this car just motivated me to get out there and try. Well, no matter how embarrassing it was. And that's, I think, what was really cool. And despite a lot of the comments on the stream and even the comments on some of the videos, it's like I was out there doing it because I wanted to do it, and I had a passion for it. I wanted to learn, and I saw that I was doing poorly, And I saw that I wasn't doing what my mind had wanted me to do. And so I just wanted to keep on going. It's one of those things. It was like one of the first things ever. I just wanted to keep chasing it, wanted to keep getting better and better and better. When I finally had the car super, super dialed in, like the chassis was dialed in, this was an event at Texas Motor Speedway. I did tons of ride-alongs all day, and it's some really cool footage actually. I was driving so great. The car was dialed, but this event was like, this is my last event on the SR. So I kind of parked the car after this event and was like, screw it. So I took the SR out, I sold it, in the transmission I was like, I'm gonna do an LS and a dog box just so I just stop breaking stuff. If you guys remember, I just had tons of problems with the SR. The tune, even on my standalone, the tune wasn't great. The parameters weren't set right. It was always letting me down. Like the SR was always letting me down. The transmissions are pretty weak on them. The rear ends aren't, the rear ends aren't terrible, but you can do like 370Z, 350Z stuff. But I was like, I needed to do a swap. Then I ran into Nate Hamilton, bought his 370Z, and that is now my current LS Pro car that's being finished as we speak. And so that kind of put this one on the back burner, and it's a really big bummer because I put so much time, effort, and love into this car. And I didn't want to get rid of it, but the budget really wasn't there, so I had to potentially list it for sale. Long story short, I decided to keep it instead of buying another Cause Light. So I was looking at like the price to replace this car, and it was like 8, 9, 10,000. I was like, okay, or I could sell some other stuff, or list some other stuff, get some stuff out of the garage, and I could maybe make this car run again with a different motor for like 5. And so that's where we're at now. So we have, as you can kind of see, I've done a lot of stuff to get this motor in this car. I did it all myself too, which I'm pretty proud of. But we got the motor in the car, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. I don't even have the motor like explained to you yet, but I did tell you guys I was gonna be J-swapping it. Didn't know if I was gonna be using the J-swap for the car that's right behind the camera right now, but the V6 Civic. I decided to J-swap it because a lot of the roots of my channel when it got really successful was with me doing Honda stuff. And I think the king of the Hondas that I own currently is my V6 car. It's really fast, it's stupid fast. I just took it to the track and it broke itself to pieces, even with tons of supporting mods and a very overbuilt sort of like suspension and axle setup. So I was driving this car one day and I was like, dude, I have a car that's sitting here. It's amazing. I love this. I love this S13. Why does nobody put the V6 turbo setup from a Honda into a drift car? And so the purpose here, and I know that Boosted Boys has done it, but the way that he made his steering was really weird and it wouldn't be functional for a drift car. So I'm pursuing the first ever like J-swapped turbo drift S13 S chassis. So it is kind of a world's first. It's gonna be interesting. We've had to do a lot of work to make it fit and work, but I wanted to give sort of a recap video to get you guys a little excited about it, talk about the history for some new viewers, and yeah, get you amped. I'm getting myself amped again just thinking about it. So we've got some awesome videos up and coming. We refresh the chassis, repaint some stuff, make it super nice because it deserves it. It's gonna be one of the coolest cars in my entire collection. Well, it's now raining, which means I should probably stop talking because I do that really well. But we've already recorded all this stuff and I'm super excited for you guys to see it. So sit tight, make sure you subscribe because the videos will be coming out pretty soon. And then we're also gonna be making some shorts or some TikToks and Instagram videos, reels and stuff about all this. So make sure you guys are following the Instagram, TikTok, subscribe, make sure you like the video. I think YouTube likes that, I don't even know. But hey, I want you guys, daily advice for you guys, write down 3 things that you're thankful for today, despite how hard life might be. And try and dwell on those things and not the negative things that are surrounding you, because it's really easy to get kind of the negative in your head, and believe me, I do it all the time. So write those things down, look at them, dwell on them, be thankful for them, and have a great day. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.